Welcome back. Now, Tumelo Madala's cross-examination in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is underway in the High Court in Pretoria. Defense lawyer TT Thobane began grilling him yesterday, painting him as an evasive witness and a willing liar. Meyiwa's sexual relationship with the Khumalo sisters was one of the bombshells dropped in court yesterday. Will today be characterized by more revelations as cross-examination continues? Well, our reporter Slindelo Masikane is following proceedings and she joins us now live from court. Sli, proceedings today starting off with apologies between Madlala and TT Thobane.
Yeah, apologies. That's how those proceedings began, Masiko. We started just after 10 o'clock this morning, where Thobane then extended an apology to Tumelo Madala for the manner in which he spoke to him yesterday in terms of shouting at him during cross-examination. At some point, the judge had to intervene because things were getting quite heated between the two. And so Madlala as well extending his apologies, but then, of course, cross-examination then continuing with Thobane then posing the scenario based in docket 375, putting it to Madlala that in fact there were never any intruders and that in fact it seems that Tumelo Madala has selective amnesia. He's made reference to the hat that was found on the scene as well as blood splatters. Let's just take a listen to just some of that cross-examination this morning.
I'm hearing that for the first time. That hat doesn't belong to me. I wasn't wearing a hat when I arrived here. Even if I do wear a hat, but those ones, I don't wear them. The only blood that I saw was in the dining room. There's no other blood that I saw.
So you're saying that when you were taking our hero from the way you said he was sitting to the car through the kitchen door, no blood went to the floor.
Ingabe uthi ukusuka la namthatha khona ngase niphuma naye ke nimkhipha la ekitchen alikho nje igazi ela thonzizela phansi. Angisho ukuthi alika ngilibonanga because igazi lokuqala ngalibona mangiya kuyena usenzela lapha phansi amadoba amaspotnyana egazi. I'm not saying that there wasn't blood, but I didn't see it. The blood that I saw was when I went to Senzo, and then that's where I saw blood next to where he was lying.
I put it to you that you are seeing is selective as well, just like your selective amnesia. How do you see the hockey stick? How do you see the crash, the head, but you don't see the blood?
And Slee, then we heard, argument around the 636 versus 375 docket. What was going on there? Is there evidence that the state was refusing for the defense to have submitted?
Well, the issue around that was, I think, an issue around words and meaning, because Thobane had used the word revive in terms of docket 375, saying that the NPA was a bit wishy-washy in terms of their stance on the two dockets, saying that, in fact, when 375 was opened by police officers in 2019, docket 636 had closed, which the state was then objecting to, also objecting to the use of the word revive in terms of docket 375, saying that the NDPP had written to the court to say that they were going to await the outcomes of this particular case before making any decision on docket 375. Another issue the state was objecting to, Maseko, was this issue around the Netflix documentary and questions being posed around payment. Now, yesterday, Tumelo Madala, during cross-examination, did admit or say, yes, I was paid for the documentary to feature in it because I was doing it in my spare time. And today we got more details around the fact that he also gave the docu-series very personal pictures of him and Senzo Meyiwa during their time together. And the defense is posing questions around whether how much that actual payment actually was. And Tumelo Madala says he's got no issues answering that, but he just wants to make reference to the documents which he signed to do that docu-series. And I think, of course, the defense usually does in terms of cross-examining witnesses, is trying to discredit Tumelo Madala as a credible witness before the court, trying to paint him as somebody who could potentially say anything for money, do anything for money, and the state obviously objecting to that line of questioning. But we resume just after 11:30. I do see TT Thobane making his way back into court, and it does seem as though we might have an early adjournment. It does seem as though Advocate Mshololo isn't feeling well, but we'll be hearing more about exactly whether we will be proceeding any moment from now, Masego.
All right, let me let you go to figure that out. Slindelo Masikane with that report. Let's leave it there for now. She's outside the High Court in Pretoria.